I often say to people that I had more responsibility as an infantry platoon commander in my early 20s than I've ever had since. It's unlike anything else I've ever done in my life. As a war, as a campaign for the Australian Army, I think it's really fascinating because it's got many more nuances, and swirling politics and economics and social developments are all there in the campaign. Much more so, I think, than, say, the First World War or the Second World War. We were in a position where we had this mass of combat data, around about 5,000 combat incidents. Each one had the date, the time, the location recorded. We had the number of enemy casualties that we'd inflicted, including the number of enemy killed. And most of those killed were buried at the scene of the combat incident. That was part of the Australian Task Force policy. I was impressed by the Vietnamese assistance to Operation Aussie's Home. They had helped identify our 6 missing in action, where they had 300,000. That sort of stuck in my mind. We needed to do something to say that, we can reciprocate this. In Vietnamese culture, there is a very, very strong desire to perform certain rituals at the burial site of kin, because if those rituals aren't performed, then the soul is deemed to be wandering forever in a kind of netherworld. And so many Vietnamese, particularly of the Vietnam War era, are very anxious to find their kin and resolve that for their deceased kin before they themselves die. We were on national TV in Vietnam, and we had a major presentation of all of these documents that we took back to a general in the Vietnam People's Army. So it was quite spectacular. We had to give speeches and so on. It was interesting to see the kind of emotional trajectory of these things, because when we went into these halls to hand over these documents, there was some kind of trepidation. People would be looking at one another and not knowing what was going on. Then the formal proceedings would start and tension would rise, and to a point where we started to return the documents. And at that point there was often wailing and tears, embracing of us and the person we were returning the documents to. After that, there was a wave of joy and happiness, and that's when we went out and had beers and a lovely Vietnamese meal. So it was a really terrific experience, and I'm really pleased to have done it.